I put my heart in this box. They be like, y'all need to stop it. We swipe a car and they robbed us. These promoters, the sharks and they partners. It's gonna be hard trying to stop us. Speaking for the fans when I say they offended me. But really, y'all part of the problem. Blinded by her, you don't see the real enemy. You motherfucker be tempting me. Don't like your energy, you think you pimping me. If I over 500 centuries, no penitentiary. I'm smoking plenty weed. I don't need no sympathy. Earl Spence versus Crawford gon' be all the time. Regardless of who win or lose, they still gon' be in the Hall of Fame. So I ain't even in my feelings. Regardless of the rain, I'm chillin'. Numb to the pain, no feeling. Can't do the same dope feeling. We're good, but I ain't no villain. Lost my top, so it ain't no ceiling. Ryan versus Tank is a fight I'm not feeling. Cause we already know that Tank gon' kill him. I wanna see Tank versus Devin Haney. Even Frank Moore. What about Shakur? Boxing is not a sport that we can afford. Cause we know that rich people ride the poor. This I cannot ignore. I've never been shot before. The pain is burning inside. My people died. It's just like a hunter who shot a bull. Damn. I put my heart in this box. They be like, y'all need to stop it. We swipe our card and they rob us. These promoters, the sharks and they partners. It's gonna be hard trying to stop us. Speaking for the fan when I say they offended me. But really, y'all part of the problem. Blinded by her, you don't see the real enemy.
What it do, what it do? It's 903 Boxing. I'm your host, Charles J. Say, man, shout out to my audience. Shout out to those that's rocking with me. Yeah, we back in the kitchen. There's a whole lot of goddamn sauce in this pot, man. Let's get to the shit. Man, Jaron Boots Ennis. Ladies and gentlemen, boxing fans all over the goddamn world. Jaron Boots Ennis may never become a superstar. I'm predicting it. I can see it. Listen, before I can explain that, I just want to say, I'm going to tell you something. Today, it hit me. No, it hit me. Sometimes shit hit you later on. Yeah, sometimes shit hit you. Sometimes shit in life will hit you later on. You might have not been hurt then, but later on in life, you realize that that's something you never got over. A lot of shit. So, it hit me like a goddamn freak trade. Listen, Spence versus Crawford might be bad for boxing. Well, I'm not gonna say bad for boxing, but it wasn't good for boxing like I thought it would have been. No. I thought Spence and Crawford would have changed boxing. Spence versus Crawford didn't do shit for boxing. It should have. It didn't do a goddamn thing. This fight we argued over 5 years, over 6 years, or however long we argued about. It wasn't good for boxing. Spence versus Crawford was not good for boxing. Even after Bud's win, even Bud fans, instead of talking about how spectacular he is, the world shitted on Earl. And I listen, Bud fans, I understand your frustration because before the fight, everybody shitted on Bud and said he was scared to fight Spence. But I was one of the only people who said, nah, bro, Bud ain't scared of Spence. I always said that shit. Never thought Bud was ducking, but yeah, Bud got shitted on first. But after the fight, Spence got shitted on. So it's just like some ring around the rosy, pocket full of toesy, ashes to ashes, we all fall down or some shit. Remember that game? Hey, say, remember that goddamn, what's that motherfucking, that thing, is it called a ring around, where you jump on that, you spin it fast and jump on that motherfucker? No, when you spin that thing at the park and you just jump on that motherfucker. Boy, we was some dangerous kids. Yeah, we were dangerous as shit. But, now, I seen it, I can see clearly now, that Spence versus Crawford, it wasn't good for boxing, bro. It was just a reason for black folks to talk shit. No, it was just some shit for black folks to just, yeah, it was like a Lil Durk concert or some shit. Except, it might have been a few shootings over this Spence and Crawford. We may just not know about it, but it wasn't good for boxing, bro. It didn't bring boxing together, and most importantly, it didn't bring black fans together. Bud fans still hate Spence. They respect him though. They won't admit it. Most won't admit it. They respect the shit out of Spence. There still ain't no respect factor though. It ain't an open respect. It ain't an open peace treaty. They fought, bro. Whether you think Spence was drained or whatever, and I think he looked fucked up. But the point is, bro, there's no need for the disrespect at this point. Like I said, black folks know how to stay mad long, boy, when it comes to another black. I told you, bro, police killings, we don't stay mad by 2 weeks at the most. No, when one eyes get shot down by a white boy, when that white boy shot them black folks up in Jacksonville, didn't nobody march but the people over there in Florida. Didn't nobody else around the world march for that shit. And that's all we do is march, which is some soft ass shit that don't never do nothing. It's just entertainment for white folks. And reason for them to shoot them goddamn that gas on our goddamn ass. But nah, we can't seem to stay mad long at white folks, but you motherfuckers stayed mad at Spence for over 5 years. You motherfuckers stayed mad at Bud for over 5 years. It's just that black hate. It just, I guess it lasts longer or some shit. You know, I don't know. But, you know, maybe it'll last forever, you know. Keith Sweat. Anyway, Keith Sweat was overrated in my opinion. That motherfucker, you know, that was a whining motherfucker. But he had some hits. Don't get it twisted. He had some hits, but he wasn't that, you know. He was a little overrated to me. But that's besides the point. The point I'm making is, nah, bro, Spence versus Crawford didn't do what we thought it would have done. It didn't make boxing exciting. You know another thing? It just brought out more jealousy. See, because before the Spence versus Crawford fight, Spence been hinting that he won't. He ain't been hinting. He been flat out saying he want to fight Canelo. That was the thing. And Bud fans didn't like that shit. Yeah. They started trying to block that shit and say Spence trying to duck Bud to fight Canelo. I remember that shit. And saying that, yeah, they just shitted on the fight. A lot of people shitted on this Spence versus Canelo shit. Oh, but when Bud win now, it's Crawford versus Canelo. And that's how Crawford want now. I think Crawford just want to fight Canelo and retire. That's it. He said it. He said it's the biggest fight in boxing, just like Spence said. Nah, bro. And I told you, bro, I've mentioned this before. I'm a huge fan of both of them, but they both did some soft ass shit. They both bowed down to Canelo. Whether you want to say it or not, bro, they both said me versus Canelo is the biggest fight. Spence said he fill up the Cowboys Stadium, and Bud is saying it's the biggest fight. Black fighters just submit to Canelo, bro. Let's just say it. When it comes to Canelo and Fatback Fury, and both of them have popped dirty for steroids, it just black fighters don't remember that shit. They just respect them, bro. I'm telling you, bro, Fatback Fury is one of the most respected fighters in American history. Most black fans respect him, bro. Most respect Canelo, bro. It's more people talking about Terrence Crawford gloves than they was talking about Tyson Fury gloves. I mean, Fatback Fury gloves. I don't want to ever call him Tyson. Ain't nothing Tyson about you. Anyway, now, bro, that fight was a failure in many ways, bro. It just was we were just looking for somebody to shit on. Spence fans thought Spence was going to run over Crawford and expose him so they could say he was never good and his run to Undisputed was trash at 140 and his resume was trash. And Bud fans was looking for a way to expose Spence. It's just all about exposing. I told you, bro, black folks was exposed in the biggest way. And I'm going to keep bringing up this fight because it don't involve black folks. In my opinion, yeah, David Benavidez is a black Latino, but he's just not an all-the-way black fighter. I'm just going to say that. But when him and Caleb Plant fought, didn't nobody argue over that shit. It wasn't no beef. We appreciated a good fight. Fans was all in unison. There was no beef. There was no fan base beef. There was nothing. Nobody shitted on Caleb, even though I feel like Caleb folded. Nobody said he was exposed. Nobody shitted on him. There was no memes of how much he held on for dear life and the ref let him hold during the entire second half of the fight. It became a respectable event. So we just can't seem to do it with Spence and Crawford, you know. But anyway, I'm excited about the rematch, actually. I'm excited about and if it's a trilogy, that would be dope as shit too. But however it go, bro, I think they both great fighters. But I done got off that. Yeah, Spence versus Crawford, it didn't do for boxing what it should have done. If shit was real, Spence and Crawford should have turned boxing into a whole nother gear because these fighters are that great. But boxing fans ruined it, bro. It's the narratives we push. It's the narratives. I don't even want to see the rematch. That became a narrative. I mean, he beat him up so bad, I don't even want to see. Bro, it's people that rather. I'm going to tell you some real shit. Ryan got more pull at getting a Tank rematch than Spence do. And Ryan actually folded. Spence never folded. I don't give a fuck how bad you say he got beat up. He never quit. Ryan quit, and he still may get a Tank rematch. And people respect that more than Spence getting the rematch. So... Nah, bro, it was just a circus show, and I don't think this Spence versus Crawford beef will ever end. 20 years later, after they retired and shit, it's still gonna be some shit, bro. When they both show up to a fight or something, and be in the crowd, it's gonna be a fight somewhere. It's still gonna be some stuff. Anyway, Jaron Boots Ennis. I'm predicting. I don't think you'll become a superstar. And I think it's sad. I think it's devastating to boxing. I think you should be a superstar right now. Right now, bro. Oscar didn't have no hellified wins before he became a star. Nah, he was a star before the Canelo Whitaker fight. And I thought he lost. Oscar De La Hoya was a star before that. So, it's a lot of shit, bro. Man, when you spectacular, boxing supposed to just make you a star. It don't matter who you fight. It's always been that way with superstars. It don't matter who you fight. Sugar Ray Leonard had a lot of shitty fights coming up. But then he got the, what's my man? Best, top 3 defense of all time. Benitez? Yeah, he got that fight. And then he ended up getting the Hearns in them fight. But he was a star before he had them fights. So, Jaron Boots Ennis should be a superstar. Another thing I want to point out, PBC, Al Heyman, Showtime, whoever, Espino, they're not very enthused about promoting Boots. And I noticed that he's not getting the attention he deserves. He still ain't got a fight in Philly. It's a lot of shit, bro. With the talent they got, but they willing to empty the bank for Canelo. Bro, Canelo is old now, bro. And I ain't gonna just say it like he old, bro, but he was never a hellified fighter like that. He's not even a hellified draw, bro. He did 500,000. They act like he do 3 million pay-per-views about. That's a fight. That's how they pay him. They act as if he sell 3 million pay-per-view buys a fight, bro. That's the generosity. I'm telling you, bro, if he fight Benavidez, they may give him $100 million. And that ain't even no $100 million fight, bro. It's a big fight. It ain't no $100 million fight. They'll give him $100 million, bro. It ain't no limit to what they'll do for Canelo, bro. But and Canelo didn't even start with PBC. The motherfuckers begged him to come over there for that 3-fight deal. But they won't even look out for their own fighters, bro. Tell you the realest shit, nobody talks about it, and they won't say it. A lot of folks won't say it. Keith Double E with the F. I talk a lot of shit about you, bro. You giving up just about, ain't much left in you, but you a hell of a fighter, though. You ain't no bullshit trash-ass fighter. And you got about 2 good fights left in you. If PBC would drop the bag on Keith, like, I feel like he would deserve it. To give a young black fighter a shot, Keith just want to be paid, bro. He is not finna fight Boots for no 2-3 million, bro. He just not. He's not finna take that kind of risk, bro, because he know what Boots possess. If you pay Keith, bro, he will fight Boots. If you pay Keith, he will fight Boots. But then... look at what happens with most older black fighters. They always give another fighter a chance. Look, he finna fight a young white fighter in Stanionis. And everybody feels sorry for Stanionis because he didn't get the Virgil Ortiz fight, bro. I believe in my people first, bro. That's why, Floyd didn't do it with Keith. He ended up fighting Berto. It's a lot of shit, bro. That's why I was like, man, when people start... I'm going to get to that. But the point is, if PBC was to really pay Keith, he would fight Boots, bro. And there would be a pay-per-view fight. And I would put it in Philly. Yeah. Make Keith come to Philly. He'll do it if you pay him, bro. He'll do it, bro. He'll do it, and that fight will sell. That's the fight that Jaron Boots Ennis need. I'm telling you, that's the fight he need, bro. Because I ain't going to lie, bro. Even though I say Keith only got 2 fights left, or maybe 3, he's still a name. Motherfuckers know who Keith Thurman is. And him versus Boots, it would bring out boxing, bro. It would bring out boxing fans. I'm telling you, that fight would be a fight. That would be a hell of a fight for Boots. That's the fight he need. They ain't gonna pay him, but they could pay him for standing honest. This is what I'm saying. Keith will fight Boots, bro. He ain't finna do it for the amount of money. He's not finna do it for no 1-2 mil, bro. So I think I'm telling you, bro, Keith Thurman fighting Boots would take him to the next level. It would bring a lot of casual fans. It would bring some shit to him, bro. It would, bro. It would. Imagine Keith Thurman versus Boots in Philly. That shit would be dope, bro. But a lot of black fighters don't get hometown fights and shit like that. So, you know what I'm noticing about Boots fans too? Because at this point, it's hard to identify Boots fans. And I'm just keeping it 100. Only time I could hear from Boots fans is when it was Earl Spence ducking Boots. Or Bud ducking Boots. That's the only time y'all talk. Y'all never promote them, bro. The only time I hear from Boots fans is when Bud is ducking them or when Spence is ducking them. Besides Bud or Spence ducking him, there's no promotion behind Boots, bro. The only promotion behind Boots is if Bud is ducking him or Spence is ducking him. I'm here to tell you right now, bro. The way Spence is looking out of shape and shit like that, I'm still hoping the rematch happen. I think it will. I don't think Spence got that many fights left either. You could possibly never fight Spence or Bud. So this is where your promotional company is supposed to kick in if they really, because you younger than Bud and Spence. So you should be the one they pushing. You younger than Tank. You should be the one they pushing, bro. I told you, bro, in my opinion, Jaron Boots Ennis is much better than Tank. Much better than Devin and Shakir. I'm telling you, bro, Boots, top 3 pound, he number 3. He number 3. And the only reason why I don't got him over Bud and Spence is because he'll have to beat them to show me that. That's the only reason why I got him number 3. But he the most spectacular fighter in boxing. Jaron Boots Ennis is most spectacular than any fighter in boxing, and it ain't close. Ain't nobody close to Boots. He different, bro. He different. He is different. He really better. He really better than everybody, bro. He just got to show me he can beat Bud or Spence, though. You just got to show it. But he really better. He really better, bro. He's better. I think he the best fighter in boxing, low key. I think he really the best fighter in boxing. I'm just telling you, bro. You just need the opportunity. Now, Jaron Boots Ennis, and I keep it going back to that Chuck fight. Leading up to that Chuck fight, Boots had a big buzz. But after that Chuck fight, fans fell off. A lot of shit started happening. They quit talking about him. But then when he stopped Villa, they started back. It's just a off and on, run on sentence. I'm gonna tell y'all some shit. Getting off Boots to some black shit. You know, it hit me. Something else hit me over the last couple of days. Sometimes I sit and I ponder. We to make you do that. Anyway, I ponder and I reflect. You know, Malcolm X is one of my favorite leaders. You know, when I look back, Pac and Biggie, because we always talk about that shit, that wasn't the first rap beef. Yeah, in my opinion, the first rap beef was Malcolm and Martin. Yeah, I think that was the first rap beef because, yeah, they was like rappers back then. They talked in front of the microphone. People loved to hear them. They could gather a crowd. Yeah, they was like MCs. So, I think that was the first rap beef. And even though Malcolm X is one of my favorite leaders, when I look back on that, Malcolm X really wasn't he could have became a great leader, but he wasn't a leader. He was a great man. He was a great warrior. He was willing to die for his people at any minute, at any second. He was loyal. He was loyal as hell. One of the realest you could ever, that has ever walked, this earth, in my opinion. But he wasn't a leader. He was a follower of Elijah Muhammad. I'm gonna show you something, bro. And when you look at boxing, bro, you gotta break this shit down because I'm trying to show you. White folks use the same old trick. Remember, Life Jenner said it's the same old birdie. But no, white folks have used the same trick since the beginning of time. They played on Malcolm with that Martin Luther King shit. And Martin came out and publicly dissed Malcolm. And Malcolm came out and publicly dissed Martin. Martin said that Malcolm them and the Nation of Islam was some hateful people, and they was hateful and they hated white folks. And Malcolm said that Martin and the civil rights movement was soft. So keep in mind, I'm finna peep this game. Nobody ever talks about this. And you got to break these things down to understand white folks and their way of moving and thinking. Keep in mind, Elijah Muhammad, he had no problem with Malcolm dissing Martin publicly. He had no problem with Malcolm X, and he encouraged it. Elijah Muhammad and the entire Nation of Islam encouraged Malcolm. And you know, it's almost how, like when Pac went to death row. Yeah, Malcolm X going to Nation of Islam was like Pac going to death row, because he changed. And he was led by, just like Pac was led by Suge Knight and the Bloods, and he started screaming MOB, Malcolm was led by the Nation of Islam, and he realized before it was too late that, bro, they was playing. And there was a lot of FBI informants in that group. That's why the government knew everything the Nation of Islam talked about. So, but Elijah Muhammad had no problem with Malcolm X dissing Martin Luther King. But when Malcolm X kind of talked shit about John F. Kennedy when John F. Kennedy was killed, and Malcolm said, well, the roosters are finally coming the chickens are finally coming to roost. Elijah Muhammad suspended Malcolm for saying that. He suspended him, bro. From the Nation of Islam. And not only did he suspend him, he publicly told white folks, it was in the newspaper. That means Elijah Muhammad told white folks, I'm spanking his ass and he can't talk no more. So now Malcolm X was not a leader. He was a follower of Elijah Muhammad. And even when he got suspended, even in his book he talked about it. He was hurt, but he was still with Elijah Muhammad, even though he was embarrassed and humiliated in front of the entire world. And basically in the newspaper it was saying Elijah Muhammad has silenced Malcolm X. That's exactly what it said in the newspaper. So all over the country, people is hearing and reading that, man, Elijah Muhammad pretty much shut Malcolm up for what he said about John F. Kennedy. And that's a white boy. But when it comes to saying something about Martin Luther King, you didn't stop that. So that's the original rap beef. So no, Elijah Muhammad could have told Malcolm, no, don't diss Martin. I know we don't agree with them people, but those are black people though. No, it was okay to diss Martin and the civil rights, another black group, but you punish me for talking about a white boy getting killed. So, Malcolm X, I'm going to tell you something, he would have been a great leader, but it was just he found out too late. A year after he left the Nation of Islam, he was killed. So we never got to see how great Malcolm X could be, because he realized he followed the teaching from a man that was a manipulator. A man that pimped on him. Elijah Muhammad pimped on him, bro. That's how a lot of Muslims do you when you're in prison. Hey, pimp, man, them Muslims be having just as many packs as the Crips and Bloods. Muslims be sneaking the shit out that pork out the kitchen. It's a lot of shit, bro. I told you that's an Arab religion, and Arab owned African slaves, so that's them folks' religion. I think Nation of Islam is for Islam is a Arab religion, and Christianity is a white boy religion. The Catholic, that's a white boy religion. Black folks really don't have a religion. Religion come from white folks. We just spiritual folks, but we done lost that. We done lost in tune with that shit and lost our sauce, so we don't know what spirituality is. We just religious folks now. So, we've been bamboozled. You know, white folks it's so easy to play us against each other. I swear, we'll forget about how crooked Bob is, how crooked boxing is, Lou DiBella and them, Eddie, and we'll just over this Spence and Crawford shit. You motherfuckers have been so distracted with dissing another fighter that you motherfuckers can't unite. And at this point, I told you, bro, I'm through trying to defend and say black fighters sell. No, black fighters don't sell. Only some do. Black fighters do not sell. And I'm not finna lie no more. Shit like that. We don't sell, bro. Our fighters don't sell. But we can make them all sell. But we just pick them out. But don't get me wrong, it's a lot of black fighters that do cake ass, fake ass, broad ass shit. So I get it. I get how. But it's just like, you know, Malcolm felt that way about the civil rights, how they laid down and got sprayed by water hoses. But it was a method to the madness. Martin Luther King was a mastermind. He brought world attention to the oppression more so than Malcolm did. Martin brought more attention worldwide to the oppression of black people by getting sprayed by water hoses and bit by dogs. It showed the whole world the brutality of white folks. So Martin Luther King was more effective than Malcolm. You know, I always favor Malcolm. And, you know, we just got a gang banging mentality. We can't embrace Malcolm and Martin. We can't embrace Pac and Biggie. And we couldn't embrace Bud and Spence. Now, when I look back in history, Martin was just as great as Malcolm. Another thing, people think Malcolm was just tough like that. Now, he talked tough. Malcolm he didn't believe in violence. He didn't believe in attacking white folks. Malcolm only said if a white boy fucked with him, he would retaliate. If you bother me, I'm going to hit you back. But Malcolm didn't go after white folks no matter how many black people they killed. Because they was killing a lot of black people. Malcolm never got violent or none of that shit. But shit got violent with him when he left the Nation of Islam. Shit got real violent. In front of his 4 little girls and his wife, he was murdered. So, now, Martin was great in his own right. And even though he was friendlier with white folks, he was a con. Martin was a pimp. And he pimped on white folks. That's why they killed him. Once they realized they was being pimped on, that's why they killed him. Because before Martin died, Martin believed in necessary violence. He said this non-violent shit ain't working, basically. And he started studying different forms of war. There's a lot of shit Martin was trying to do before he was killed. But I done went to Malcolm and Martin. But yeah, it go back to then. Because when you think of it, that's the first time 2 black leaders warred with one another in America. No. It was Martin and Malcolm. Marcus Garvey didn't have no beefs. You know, Frederick Douglass didn't have no other rivals or none of that shit. Nah, it started with Martin and Malcolm. So, but they were both great men, and it's just like, you know, when we can learn to appreciate both fighters, bro, we ain't got to pick a side, bro. You know, I tried that shit when I was a teenager, picking red over blue and shit. Yeah, because the Crips in my, in Marshall, they was deep and they was running shit. So I went with the underdogs. Yeah, I wanted to. So, but when you look at it, bro, we just ain't got to pick a side, bro. We can just appreciate great fighters, bro, and just appreciate black excellence without trying to pick who got the better idea or some shit. We just got to stop that, bro. Trying to come up with a plan, but we too busy trying to fight in the huddle. See, I'm precise with the struggle. But yeah, it is what it is, bro. But it's shit like this is why Boots may never become a star. Because the city of Philadelphia is not behind them. And we all know that. Yeah, it's some. But the city of Philly ain't behind them, bro. They're not. He would be on pay-per-view if they was. Because he could do numbers alone, and Philly is that big. But the city is not behind them like that, or like they should be. And I think he should have been on Gilly and Wallow's show at least more than once. He should have been on there 3-4 times by now. But, nah, bro, as talented as he is, and I think he's the most talented fighter in boxing, he may never become a star. He may never become a star unless he could come up with some mess or beef with Earl or Bud to where fans just superly demand that shit and it happen. It'll have to be some shit. Like, I think, if Boots was to get the Bud fight and beat Bud, of course he'd become a superstar. Then Philly would definitely embrace him. But I'm telling you, bro, people sleep on that Keith Thurman fight in Philly. Cause boxing, bro, they know Keith, bro. They know him. He's very known. That's the fight for him, bro. But PBC don't want to pay him. Point blank, period, bro. Just like they didn't want to pay Bud. But Spence demanded that shit, so they didn't want to pay Bud, bro. You heard Espinoza. They're just not being realistic and all that shit, bro. Just quit letting other folks tell us what we worth. This is 903 Boxing. I'm your host, Charles J. With that, I'm out.